welcome back to hopefully our day 13 of the Rail Trek Secluded City, and today we will be doing attaching these pieces. So we made all of this yesterday. Now the first thing they get you to do is put the light through. I'm not going to do that, however I will need every one of these little holes. So this one's going to have the light, well, we do have one, but because these are going to be pressed through, I'm just going to do a tiny bit through there because we are going to need to know where to put them. And now we're going to get those in here. So there's 4 of them, and these are just going to literally go into those corners like so. So we're going to need some glue. I don't see that that one came through so well. So put them back through, so any leftover papers on the inside hopefully, and not on the outside, but all these corners are going to be protected. So just want to make sure, particularly this one, if you're not putting your light in beforehand, that I should have filled up my glue pot, and yeah, I should, that you are that it's going to be okay. So I'm going to just start off with one, and you want to make sure that the pattern's outside. I know it's probably more obvious than it needed to be, but you never know, right? Somebody like me would probably appreciate that sort of information. And I just don't see this being particularly easy, really. Okay. And then just squeeze it down. Doesn't matter if there's glue showing on the inside. And you don't really need at this point to glue these because we are going to be putting in those posts afterwards. So once these are in, and the next section, then I'm going to put the light in. I'm just not doing it quite yet. And then we're going to be building on this straight away, which is also going to be interesting because it does make me feel, you know, I actually wonder, now that I've got that in there, I think I'm going to take it out again, and I'm not going to put these in. So I'm just going to practice fit them all first, and then take them out, because we are going to be wanting to turn this over in order to put the walls on first before we ever do much else. And what I don't want is therefore, so I'm just going to keep practice fitting them in so that it won't be so hard to deal with later. And I think it's going to be easier to put those walls in while it's flat. That's my initial thought anyway. I could very well be wrong. So let's pop all this to one side and we will come back to that. Okay, and get her covered up, of course. Okay, let's start on getting the walls done, because you attach all of that sort of thing first. We're going to also be doing quite a bit to the top. We need to build another one of these, what we did before, so I will get that done. So first things first, we have this cardboard. Make that into our, let's just get everything in. We know how this goes, we did it before, we can do it again. So we need 2 long ones being opposite, so it's got a longer end to it, exactly the same as how we did it. We really should have put more glue in here. So put it up this way, and this is going to go in that hole. So again, it's not going to be something I'm going to attach now. I know they tell you to, but I'm not. And in fact, this one's the worst one to put in first, really, because it's not going to be flat. So I'm going to put all the rest in instead, and I'll come back and do that one. Put a bit more glue on, leave that one. Or I can put glue on actually. So, and just keep the long ones like that for later. As long as you leave 2 spots with them opposite each other. That's the wrong one, don't use that one. That means that one's the wrong one, so I need to go and get some parts. I picked up the wrong parts. Sounds about right, don't need any of those. So I've got 2 long ones here, let me go and grab 2 more short ones. when I made the first one of these, I thought we had so many spares. Or did I know? These two. I thought, wow, they've really been nice. And then the two longer ones. Okay, put you back in. It's like I didn't want to stay in there. Why are you making me stay in there? And the other long one. Like so. Turn that up. Pop the top on. And it's okay for this to have a little bit of movement and stuff at this stage, because it's going to then just go on top there and we can get it all a bit more uniformed. Right, let's put yes the opposite way around than what I've done, because we want to have that line showing. Oh. So that we can stick the cardboard. So that opposite way. Of course I can't get it in at all now, and it went in so well. Round exactly the same as how we made it last time. No difference. Put that in there. Okay, and then we've just got the cover to put on, which I'll do in a moment. Let's get these two working. I'm not sure why I've now gone on to B7000 instead. I have, it seems. Catching everything right now. And we have this one. Just going to go through here, and that's ready to go on the top of it, which I'll probably do once I've got it on the model. I very much doubt that I'll put this on there yet. Okay, so that's all done. Let's start on doing some roofing parts. So I'm just going to push all this to one side for a little bit. That one actually went on quite crooked. Don't need those. Can go back to spares. We will be needing that. We'll be needing that. We'll be needing that. Let's put that on this paper though because it's wet. We'll be needing that. Alright. Or that. So let's start with this. Actually, just before this, we can start prepping this. So this is for how the roof's going to be. So we make two of these. So you've got two different sizes. I think these ones might be the identical. No, one smaller than the other. And you put the one on top of the other. Just check this. Yeah. So you put the smaller one on top of the other one, matching up the corners. And you make two. one side. It will all come together in the end. And then same with this one. Like so. One of these I'm not sure when you use it actually. I think it's quite soon, but got a lot more to do before that. Okay. And these will go on the top of one of them. And again, it doesn't really matter which one, and it's just flat to go on there. I've got to put more glue in here. I'll be doing that in a moment, I think. And then just literally go around the outside of here. So it's like a little ledge, and that's going to help everything be a little bit more uniformed. So you've got two longer ones and two smaller. Have this one going on the inside. I think when we got the glue flowing, we'll just go around here. And then I'll check that one and make sure it's lined up still, because it may have moved when I moved it. And that will be this done for now. It's a big clock tower, isn't it? And I think I'm going to pretty much build the clock tower off of the roof. Pretty much. Just make sure this is lined up. Not sure when that one goes in. So those can both go to one side. Getting ready. This one I moved. Right, now we are going to make quite a dynamic looking thing really. We are joining these two together. So again, you do have a lip over here. So I'll do that first because that could be sitting there. So again, it's got positioning already bent into it. Weird shape. Like so. That can sit there. And then this one does not have the little tab, so I'll just sit like that for now. Then we will glue these together. So this goes through. I'm not going to necessarily glue it. They're all different sizes. So you want the biggest at the bottom. So you want this one to go through here. I don't think this needs gluing right at this stage. Lie this down though so I can get glue out of it. And hopefully ease it on in this one. And finally I will put glue on the bottom one. this goes inside there, and that's going to be the top of this very strange, very magnificent actually looking roof. And definitely put some thought into this, so that can sit and wait now as well. So first of all, let's get the pin on this, and then I'm going to put this to one side because I do need to go and fill it up. First of all, we have some pieces of paper here that are going to go on these 4. So I should have 4. So we can start there. I'm just going to use some B7000 for this. Let's put the lid on this. And then I will have to pull some more pieces because I haven't actually pulled the wall part of this whole build. Let's go around here and put those in upside down, so facing forward. Like so. Those two want to stay together, I saw that. This one. Two. This one needs to be a bit lower down. Put my hand straight in it. And let's put it on the wrong way too. And 4. So those are done. Then we take 2 of them, and they are going to go like this, like so. So let's use some B7000 again. As I pick up beacon, actually I do want to use B7000. Doesn't look very straight. You want to go all the way to the end here, like so. A posh roof here. Not necessarily posh, but quite, it's got a design, so it makes it quite nice. So it looks something like so. Make sure it's in all the way. And then we're going to put another one of these on the end here. Give that a moment for it to hopefully take to the wood and not me. So let's get another one of these. My paper fell off, it's not helpful. Not helpful if you try and put it in upside down, opposite each other either. Like that. Cool. Trash. And then then these two, exactly the same, but they're individually done. So again, you want them like so. I need two of these. And again, just make sure your paper's facing outwards. As in the design, this one needed to actually really go down a bit lower. But it's not what ended up happening. As again, B7000 gluified now. So something like so. Off me. Last one. And then we join them all together, and that can sit there for a moment while I go and fill up that wood glue and get the B7000 off me. Pretty cool roof style. Not sure I've done a build, maybe I have, which has that sort. And then again, I'm just going to use B7000 as I got it out. But beacon would work just as well on this. Just get the edges, stick it on here. Lovely in the middle. And then once you have that other one matching up to it, we will be golden. Probably don't need this amount of B7000 either. Something like so. Pretty cool looking, isn't it? Okay, let me go fill up that wood glue and get the walls ready to put on while it's flat. And all of this we will do after the event. This goes actually inside this piece, like so, I believe. Nope, I'm lying. It doesn't, it goes on this piece. Move that up this way. Should I glue that on? No, we just wait. Alright, let me go and get this wood glue, sort my hands, and get these wood pieces, because I don't have them. I was not that excited and pre-planned, obviously. Alright, be back. Alright, so we have quite a few elements to do. Most of it, a lot of it's paper, so let me get all of those done. We have some more of these to put on as well, so I will also get all that done. And then I will come back to you, but just so you know what I'm looking at, and we're going to be installing some lights and things. I'm really trying to get this whole section done for today. So let me get that done. I will come back and talk about that in a moment and show you how these pieces look. So this one's going to go like that. It does have a hole in here. You can see it. There we go. I'll pop that out. And that is for the coat hanger. And then we have these ones to do. So let me get those done. I will be back in a moment. Okay, they're all done. They didn't take long. So we are going to start with putting this piece on and then turning it over and putting the other piece on, as well as the ceiling light goes in the other one. That's okay, don't need that yet. So I'm just going to get this on first, because this is a bit flatter than what we're going to do on the other side. Helps if I have it the right way round though. just begin like a window look on the outside there. Not even sure that you saw that 100%. And then this is going to go in this hole here, which would have been a bit easier probably to do without the coat and that on there. A lot easier. Not many places to hold to do this. And then I'll probably have to go and sort that window out again, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, knew that would happen. No, somewhere to hold. They are tight fits, and you can't push the thing through, otherwise it come the other side. And that will break as well. Okay. If I'd done this again, I wouldn't have put these on. I just would have put these in the walls. Got these walls ready first. Probably also should have done this with different glue. Found that before, didn't I? Don't learn my lesson. Then we're going to just flip it over and look at that picture, make sure that that's okay. Sure it's fine. It's very loose down there. Ooh, hands got the shakes. Let's see what we're doing. We're okay. Alright. Prop this up and put it to one side. I won't need it straight away anyway. But we will be needing it quite soon. I wonder if I could do that actually first. Just make sure that it is this wall that this is going on. I think it is. Let's see. I'm going to get you to put that in before you put the... Yeah. Let's go all the way to the top. Before you attach it. Yeah, it goes all the way to the top. So you just want to have your feet at the bottom there. So let's move my clip a moment out the way. And we'll get this piece put in. So you don't want to exceed the top, you want it level at the bottom, and you don't want it to go over that edge. Other than that, nothing to it. Okay, let's put that to one side and it can be sitting there. I'm going to get a light on the inside of here because we were needing it. So we're going to have one light here. The other light, let me see if I can get this positioning right. They can get you to put on afterwards, which is just weird for me. But it goes roughly in the middle and both the lights will go towards... Where's the wire going towards? This back corner. So let's get this popping right in the middle here. So something like so. And we know that these fit because we've already done them, and it's going to go into the far corner. And then that can sit there and get ready. Okay, off you go. Right, these, we have a window going in here. Just put wood glue on the paper. Don't worry about the wall. Yeah. Well, it's not decorated particularly on one side or the other. Unlike those arches, by the way, that I did with the paper on top, those all have a pattern. And unfortunately, when they came out of form, some of that was ruined. But so when you do these, you want to make sure that the brighter side is pointing outwards, so you're sticking them on here, and that the pattern, there's a slight pattern to it, you can see it now, is outside. So you do the papery stuff on that inside. So we won't be needing this one for a bit, but we will be needing this one. So we are going to be dealing with this. So we've got a few things to make. We've got a window to make, and we also have some doors to put on. So inside being here, they have it on the doors going inwards and being open inwards. And these ones are brown in colour. And we want them open. At least to an extent. Wouldn't be a bit like the others that mine seem to just want to move anyway. So they can go to one side for the moment. Okay, we'll clip you back up, don't you worry, you can be open. Okay. In the meantime, we'll make this. I have glues all over the show. And then that's all the parts that I have, and all we have to do is put it together. Little bay that's going to go in that one that we just put those windows on, but I'm going to give it a moment for those windows to take, because this just literally fixes on the other side. I don't want the doors particularly going all over the show, although I can imagine that they will close automatically as soon as I do that. And this goes on here, and there's no door going on the other one that I can see. So, and then on the top here just goes this piece. A lot of the green I had trouble getting out the form actually. Should have used a blade, but I didn't have one with me where I was doing it. So you want this kind of towards the front, I believe. No, you don't. I don't need them towards the back. So something like so. And then that goes on the outside of here. I reckon it's going to go on that inside a little bit because it's got those tabs to catch up with. Like here. And that way I'll hold, yeah, it goes in. Yeah, just literally clips in there. That's kind of cool. That worked. Okay, and then I'm going to stand this. So that's how that looks. Get rid of some of that glue so it's not so obvious. trying to be careful not to close the doors as I close the doors. And we'll get them out again. Okay, and that can stand there. Right, we're going to give all that a few minutes and then we're going to get all this put together and on the main model. So we will be rocking and rolling. First of all, we will be putting it on here, and I will need to thread the other wire, which is going to go up through. Well, let's just get that done. Get this wire in, and we'll get it also threaded through on the back. Okay, this one you want to be going upwards a certain amount. Not that it's got anything to hold it onto to keep it straight, which is going to be, okay, doesn't help that it's tangled around itself here. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, we want to face in the same direction, and we want about how much? Going upwards, does it give us a measurement? No. So you want so much of it showing though, because it's going to go inside the clock tower, and then you want that pulling in the same direction. So something like so. And hopefully I got the angles right, because I do have a lot of problems with the angles. So something like so. Oh, quite need to do that. I wonder if I need it that high up. Doesn't really say, but that's what it's going to do. Literally what I just did. Okay, it's a bit sticky now. So something like so. Right, let's give everything a few minutes, pop it all together. I know I've said that about 10 times now. Pop it all together, and we'll be done for today. Alright, that's had a moment. So I'm not putting the stuff on the top here, but I am going to start putting the walls on, because I think we can do that. So, if you hadn't guessed, I'm definitely not doing it in the order that they suggest. I'm sure you'd work that out. These windows want to open too. So, being it's got a indent on this side here, I think that is where the wire was meant to go. So how handy that I might have actually got it right. I do struggle sometimes on my where directions are, so let's make sure that this one does go in here, but then they're pointed in the wrong direction. That doesn't help, does it? That's the other walls. There's this one. Yep, one crooked coat. That one's going on the back wall, so maybe put this one in first. So this one goes in here for a second. You know, makes me wonder if I put the paper on the wrong side, because I think this one is meant to go in here for sure, although it doesn't 100% fit, and it probably fitted better over here, so I think the paper is on the wrong side. Doesn't fit much better over there, but I have a feeling this one's meant to be here. So can I get away with switching the roof around? I thought I had it right, I have to say. trying to see what they're trying to say. Like, their holes are definitely different to mine on the roof. Like, kind of they imply that there's 2 holes here. And mine definitely doesn't have that. It really makes you think you've done something wrong. Kind of also implies that this one's going to go here, which of course they're totally the wrong shape for. Well, and it's not big enough. Okay, let's try this with a little bit of logic. This one looks like it's going to go here. Okay. This one. Okay, that's right. It's right. It's okay. I'm just losing it. So make sure you have all the outside edges correct. So this one goes here. Julia. Oh, a tight fit. It's really difficult because the picture's kind of up the other opposite way. Then I believe this one goes here. She's being Julia. Still glue on the bottom there. Okay, and that goes here. Then I'll get the other side in and bracket it while I get her sorted out. Yeah. Well, that's going on the outside, so. So then that does mean that my wires are going the wrong direction. Okay. Because we want them in that bracket, I'm pretty sure. So that's okay. I will stick them down afterwards. So I think this is how it's meant to go. It's so difficult to put some of these pieces in. They're really tight fitting. This is so very wobbly. Let's take you out a minute. Oh, get out of the way. And you could easily break this piece here. Okay. And get our wires sorted. And I'll sort them proper in a sec. And then this one goes on here, like so, and I'm going to bracket this so it has a chance to set, get it all in proper, and then bracket it, and then sort these wires out, and I'll be back. Okay, so I think it's time that we put this all to bed. So I have done it very much in a different order to what they suggest. It helps if I press the lever down when I'm trying to take that off. So if you are going to go by the book, you probably don't want to do it the way I'm doing it. So that's what we have. I am now going to pop this in to here, and we know that these wires will go down here. Very tidy, aren't they? And this sits around that red. Oh, sorry, I've done the hole down here. That's what that hole was for. So let's pop that one through. Can't do it. Let me try less wires in my hand, huh? Plus they're all wanting to talk to each other. And it's going to be very important that we have this walkway, which you can hardly see. It's got a cord on there. where that door is, we are going to be leaving it there. So it comes down one. Another. I don't know if I meant to have secured those wires on that outside. We'll say. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I don't think that's a big deal to do afterwards either. And then we can get all the other bits and pieces on that we started with, and then tomorrow we'll be able to decorate this. I don't think we're going to get that today, but on day 14 we will. And I can let you know what else we have going on, because we have still quite a bit to do to this to get it done. But it can sit overnight and be sitting pretty. Ooh, where's those other wires? There's one all the way up there. Okay, so we've got 9 wires in there, a lot of wires. We're using quite large clips at the end of this. Right, we did fill this up too. So let's see what we can do. So there are lines on the floor here as well, as to where the walls will be going. And then, like I say, we get the roof up. I think it's going to look really cool. Makes you want to test the lights, doesn't it? But nothing like saving that till the last. Okay, let's get this lined up as best as I can. Okay, it's looking mighty fine. Right, the order that they would have is that you put everything on the top, and then you're going to put these sides on, the bits where we put plastic pieces on, which obviously I am not doing. But what I am going to do is put these in now. So I'll get straight on with that. And because we did test them, it should be quite a straightforward fit. Of course, famous last words. Let's move that. There we go. Eventually went. I was starting to wonder if it was ever going to. And I guess we should. I don't think we need to put any on the side. Maybe I'll put a little bit on the sides. I don't think you particularly need to, because we're going to have those stone pillars, wooden pillars going up. So I do need to reshuffle this a little. Just make sure everything's roughly in the right place. Okay. And again, a little bit. You'll not see much else, are you? A little bit there. Just make sure all the window decor is on the outside rather than the in. This one goes in nicely. And then lastly this one. And the wire is just kind of loose in the middle there. If this sticks up, yeah, mine doesn't want to do that. It actually wants to pop out the side. Okay, so just go back here. Okay, just make sure that they are all down okay. Then we put these in, which are just going to go on all the corners. So this you do want to put glue on both sides as well as the bottom. Something like so. And it's going to be the same with all of them. And then we're going to tie it all together with a roof piece. See what I'm doing on this side, by the way. sure it's wonderful. Sarcasm for the win, right? I have to have a look at that one particularly. Okay, let's have a quick look what that's doing. Ooh. I always do it, as you know. Just grab hold of the piece that I've just put down. We're going to be making this more sturdy in a moment, so. Because we are going to put the top on. Easier if this wants to stay. It's always easier to put those in afterwards, isn't it? Right, then let's go back a few pages. We are going to take this one here with the top on. Again, you're not seeing much. And gluing this, just putting glue along the edge here. Because the height of it plays havoc with my camera. I did think it was gonna, I think it will. So we want to put the pillars actually into those corners. So I think it's going to be a bit easier to do it the opposite way. Pop these all in from the bottom, like so, and then turn it around and catch all the rest. It's going to be my guess anyway. Okay. And then Julia. Some paper coming off there. I would cover you up, but you keep getting up, young lady. And pop these on again, a bit more glue on the bottom. I think it just sits on the inside here. And push them too. And that, I believe, is about right. Touching at the bottom here. This one just did not want to go in straight, did it? Oh, yeah. Still not in straight. Straight on. Doesn't help that the papers come up on the side there. Not that that should make much difference, really. Make sure that those are all in, and again this paper did not go on well. It was rather unfortunate. Okay, then we take, what do we take next? Oh, this goes all the way down. Oh, I'll take it all back. Okay, that's not going to work then. Okay, let's take it back up. So what we need is these pillars to be about halfway down. So, like here, you want it below the clock on here. So let's get these all pushed in. And maybe that'll help that one that wants to come up. Now I wish I'd actually put the railings on after the event, in reality. Right, let me get them pushed in. Okay, they were a very tight fit. So now that I've got them somewhat in, I need to go all the way over our clock faces and all the way down so that this is below the clock faces, which will be maybe a little bit harder than anticipated, because let's push that one in. Right, let me work on this. I think if I push both of these in, I might maybe be able to do it, but it's a bit tricky. It's definitely a tight fit, and I don't think whether it was on the model or not would make much difference to this being a tight fit. I think it's just going to be a tight fit. Okay, leave that with me. Okay, so I got that on eventually. Now, it doesn't look very straight, and it does look a bit of a mess. What we do is we turn this one upside down and we pop that one on the top, which is just as well, because it will cover some of the sins that it has. And it has one or two. It does make me think that if I'd left off, it's almost like it's so tight that it wants to rip off the paper, which also means that the clock face and hands that I put on were the challenge. Basically, that's where the challenge was. So you want to make sure that it's on this end going downwards. So it's like so. And again, it's probably meant to go inside, but it's such a tight fit. It really is. I mean, it doesn't feel that square to me. That's the problem. Get that one in. There she goes. Get this on. Okay, and then we'll pop this on, and we'll call that it for today, because times are flying along, which is interesting because it's like totally a different shape to what they have. Okay, we're going to put a piece on top, but still, this looks like it fits all square, right, all to the areas, the angles and stuff, and well, it doesn't do that. It doesn't even cover up those pieces that it says it does. Unless if I need to turn it around. No, I don't think it even does then. How weird. It's almost like they got an extra piece down on the corners, covering everything up. And it makes you think, well, maybe I should go like this, you know, to cover them all up. But that's not how they have them. They have it definitely straight. How very strange. Just trying to see if I've missed something. Maybe, I think actually when this piece goes on, it will cover up those corners. So let's get this one part on, and then we'll put that other piece on, and we'll call it at that. This would be 7,000 on. I mean, it's definitely, you can see that this part's come away and everything. It was a challenge. I mean, there's a problem doing it in situ. I think that was fine. But I think it is still a challenge. Okay. This one's higher than those. Just hold that there a second. Now, where did that black piece go? Oh, there it is. So So I think this goes over like so, and that is what covers it up. So let's get that all the way down. And then that other one goes on top, which just covers up the black really. And this might hide some sins, I doubt it. I don't really like how this came out, but it does definitely hide everything, which is what you're after. Not perfect, it needs holding down, and then I'm going to pop this on top and we call it for today, and then we could put everything else on. So I'm just going to carry on using B7000, being I kind of started there, and wrap this around it. And then I'll put some weight on this, I think, and tomorrow we can put the top of it on and get these other pieces of wood done. Alright, so I'm going to leave it as that. I'm going to put a little bit of weight on top of that to hold it in for several hours, and then we'll get this whole section. I think we've actually done really quite a lot on this today. So that's what we've done. Obviously tomorrow, let's zoom you out. Alright, so it gives us a better idea of what we've done. So we've got this lid on, this room on. We have to put stuff in there, so we'll be doing that tomorrow. But first of all, we will be finishing off this roof. Only have this little piece to go on the top here, and that will be done. Then we have this to go in here with this roofing part as well. We will then have these to put on, which are just going to go around the edges like so. And I'm sure they have a better way of doing it than what I'm seeing. So, but I think it just sits on the outside of them, and that will be that. And then I will have to check that out actually, how they're going in. But I think they are just literally sitting underneath the base in places. So like here, one at the front here, one over here. So and I'll look at how that goes. So once we've done that, we will then put the stuff inside here, which we haven't done, including the piano. We'll be putting the piano in, and we will then be working on quite a bit of decor on the outside around the bottom here of stuff we've already made, making the doors for this side, which I talked about here, where you've got the little walkway going in. So we'll be doing that tomorrow as well, and we will also I will say this was an absolute pain in the butt, by the way. I don't like how it was. It caused me a lot of pain, annoyance really, more than anything else, but it is done and it does look really good. So I'm sure it'll look great when it's finished. Right, what else will we have time for tomorrow? So we'll definitely be finishing off this whole section here. Should be able to get some of the decor in on around the outside. Should be able to get this door in with the porch over it. Then we pretty much use the last of the things we've made. We have then a staircase to make. We have another, I don't even know what that is. Some sort of cart of some sort. I don't know. It looks like a crib, basically, before we get onto the train. And then we'll be making the train, which will go in our very movable piece there. Alright, any comments are very much appreciated. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do appreciate every single one of you. Most of all though, guys, take care of you, and I will see you for day 14. Take care. Bye bye.